So when you talk about this nucleus, I gave you an introduction. I just told you that nucleus is the heart of a cell, or you say brain of the cell. Brain of cell, that was discovered by a great scientist, Robert Brown, in the year 1831. Okay, so nucleus was discovered by Robert Brown in the year 1831. Now this nucleus is well defined in eukaryotic cell, right? You remember prokaryon, where pro means primitive, karyon means nucleus. So in prokaryotic cell, the nucleus is always primitive, right? And when you talk about eukaryotic cells, here there are two words. Eu means true and karyon means nucleus. समझ में आया difference? Primitive nucleus, true nucleus. These are the two words. Primitive nucleus and true nucleus. Now, as this primitive nucleus has no nuclear membrane or other parts of the nucleus, we call it as nucleoid. So instead of nucleus, we call it as nucleoid. Exactly. Now, some small things you can talk about this nucleus is about location of the same. So location is not always fixed, right? So it may vary, it may change. Like it may be present in the center, may not be present in the center. Sometimes cells are elongated, so it may be at the top, it may be at the base. Some cells you must have seen. Like in next chapter, we are going to talk about muscular tissues, or tissues is a chapter. In that you will see this, or epithelial tissues, you will see this location of nucleus may vary from one type to other type. Now, if you say in plant cells, it is at border or it is located at the periphery, and the reason you remember why it is located at the border or periphery is because of that large vacuole present in the plants, which is called as a central vacuole. Exactly. So as that central vacuole is large in size, it will push that nucleus towards the border or at the periphery. Now when you say number of nuclei, singular number nucleus, plural number nuclei. So if we compare the number of these nuclei, then most of cells have got a single nucleus, right? But some cells may have two also. Do you know any cell which has got more than one nucleus, or it has got two nuclei? Anybody knows? Yes, Ashi, you know the answer? Very good, paramecium, yes. So paramecium has two nuclei, star-shaped nuclei. One is large in size called as a macronucleus. One is small in size called as a micronucleus. So they are the types. Then there are some cells who have more than two nuclei also. If you remember skeletal muscles. So these skeletal muscles have many nuclei. And such a cell which has many nuclei, then we will call it as, that condition is called as syncytium. Remember this word, important for your competitive exams. A cell which has got many nuclei, that would be called as a syncytial cell, and the condition is called as a syncytium. Is it clear? So that is about the number. Now after number, if you say, it may be absent also. In number, you may be knowing any cell where this nucleus is absent. Have you heard any name without a nucleus? Exactly, very good, Sagnik. RBCs, but actually when RBCs become mature, they lack nucleus. When they are formed in the beginning, they have nucleus. You will be learning now xylem phloem this year. In that there is one cell in the phloem called as sieve tubes. They also do not have a nucleus. So advantage of nuclei having more than one will be, that helps to control that cellular activities. Obviously that will be the main function. It will participate in controlling that metabolic activity. That is the advantage. Now very important part we will be talking here is this structure. So whether it is a nucleus in plant, nucleus in animal, whatever the type is, but structure is going to be same. Size may be small or may be large, number may be one or more. No, only plants, Sarthak. Only plants have got nucleus shifted towards. Animals may it is there. Some tissues called as adipose tissues, they also have nucleus shifted towards border. Now, structurally when you talk about, now I am drawing a diagram, you can look and learn how to draw the diagram. Fine? So simple diagram, but important for your competitive exams as well as your school exams. So when nucleus has got four main parts, that is this nuclear membrane, then nucleolus, then nucleoplasm and chromatin network. The nucleus, if it has these four things, you can read these four things: nuclear membrane, nucleolus, nucleoplasm and chromatin network, then only we will call it as a true nucleus. If anything out of these four things is missing, it will not be called as a true nucleus. That will become then primitive nucleus. Exactly. Purva, understood everybody? Many multinucleated I have written here. Skeletal muscle has many nuclei. Okay? There are some examples like this. Nucleoid is poorly developed nucleus. I'll explain the structure, Kavya, just be patient. So these four things are there which are the parts of a well-defined nucleus. Now if I draw the diagram, how it would be? So it would be like this. Look, this is your homework again. You are going to draw the diagram in your notebook. Is that okay? Now this is nuclear envelope. What I have drawn here is nuclear envelope. Now what is the difference between nuclear membrane and the nuclear envelope? It is actually, membrane is always single, but when you say envelope, it has two layers. So here you can see two layers are there. Can you see? So as it has two layers, or it has two membranes, one membrane outside, one membrane inside, it will be called as the outer membrane and inner membrane, and therefore togetherly we will call it as nuclear envelope. So instead of nuclear membrane, you can also call it as nuclear envelope, double membraned, and it has got a space, and this space is intermembranous space. Now you don't need these many names, I'm just telling you for your information. So there are two membranes, outside one is the outer membrane, inner one, inside one is the inner membrane. Space between membranes will be inner membranous space filled with the fluid, inner membranous fluid. Did you understand? The fluid will be called as inner membranous fluid. Now this nuclear membrane or this nuclear envelope is not continuous. Can you see here? It is not continuous, it is interrupted, it is broken and at certain places. So this has got a small pores, and you know the name. What will be the name for this pore present in the nuclear envelope or a nuclear membrane? Exactly, it will be called as a nuclear pore, right? So this will be called as a nuclear pore. What is the function of this nuclear pore? So function will be, it will allow substances to enter inside the nucleus and exit the nucleus. So some substances can enter inside the nucleus through this nuclear pore, some can leave the nucleus. Simple. So it will act as a doorkeeper. It will act as gate of this nucleus. Now coming to the second part. So even you remember that this outer membrane of the nuclear membrane supports some cell organelles. Now what it supports? It supports that network like structure, endoplasmic reticulum. Very good. It supports endoplasmic reticulum or those which are attached to this nucleus, mainly endoplasmic reticulum. Exactly. Now coming to the second part, nucleolus. Now how do you explain this nucleolus? So here you can see this nucleolus is nothing but another body located inside the nucleus at one end or one corner. What do you call it as? Nucleolus. Got it? So spherical or round body located inside the nucleus at one corner or one end. Normally it is one, rarely it may be two also. And this produces ribosomes. Okay, what is the main function of this? It is actually the factory where ribosomes are produced. Remember, ribosome is a factory of proteins and this nucleolus is a factory of ribosomes. Okay? Yeah, you can say nucleus of nucleus. There are some names of the people also associated with the discovery. They say Fontana was the name of a scientist. You don't need in fact these many details. Fontana was the name of the scientist who discovered this nucleolus inside the nucleus. Okay? Now, function of nucleolus is it produces ribosomes and ribosomes later on produces proteins. Fine. Now comes the next thing or a next part or a structure is here. You know what this is? Third part. What is that third part? Nucleoplasm. Very good. Or nuclear sap. That's good. You're googling this, Rishi. So, nucleoplasm, or you also can call it as nuclear sap. SAP. That's better then. It's there in NCERT textbook. Nice. So nucleoplasm is a gel-like substance like that of your cytoplasm. It will be restricted by nuclear membrane and it will accommodate some things. So what are the things which are located inside this nucleoplasm? One thing is this, your nucleolus. Then it also contains one network-like structure. Yes, and that network-like structure is this, which is called as chromatin network. Very good. So inside this nucleoplasm there is the fourth and the last structure located, which is nothing but chromatin network or chromatin fibers. We will call it as chromatin network or chromatin fibers, which is a genetic material that is only made up of DNA. That only condenses and becomes chromosome. समझ में आ रहा है? So it is a future chromosome. So this network-like structure, thread-like structure is called as chromatin network. Now, little more detail we will talk about this chromatin network. Now, nucleoplasm, you understood everybody. OJAS, RNA is ribonucleic acid, like DNA is deoxyribose nucleic acid. So this nucleolus produces that RNA also, it produces ribosomes also. So it is a factory of ribosomes and RNA. Now nucleoplasm also contains some enzymes inside it. Those enzymes help in all the chemical reactions which occur inside the nucleus. Right? What is there inside the nucleoplasm? Chromatin network is there, nucleolus is there. Along with that, it also has some enzymes, chemical substances, catalysts, which help in replication of this DNA. Replication is to produce multiple copies. So it helps in production of more copies of DNA so that it has got those enzymes inside this nucleoplasm. समझ में आया nucleoplasm क्या होता है? Other name for nucleoplasm is nuclear sac. And now we have the last and important structure left, which is chromatin network. So let's talk about chromatin network now. So what is chromatin network here? It is nothing but the genetic material. Chromatin network is nothing but the genetic material. So this chromatin network, when observed under electron microscope, it shows two main regions, that is euchromatin and heterochromatin. This is important for your competitive exams. There are two main things here, euchromatin and heterochromatin. Euchromatin means less condensed part and heterochromatin means more condensed part. You will be able to remember these words. This chromatin network can be divided into two parts, euchromatin and a heterochromatin. Euchromatin is less condensed part, heterochromatin is more condensed part. Now when you observe this under electron microscope, this will look like some thread like structures like this. It will look like some threads. It will look like a string which has got beads inside. So it can be referred as a beaded string. It will be called as a beaded string. Now this beaded string, when you magnify again, if you zoom it, magnify it, what you will see here, two things are there. And those two things will be like this. Here you will get one round structure which contains histone proteins inside. What are these called as? Histone proteins. And these histone proteins are surrounded by DNA which is coiled around it like this. Two turns of DNA. Like this. Are you understanding? This whole structure is what I have magnified from here. It has got two things. What two things? This thing is called as a DNA, and inside these round bodies are called as histone proteins. And then it will repeat. So one histone protein surrounded by DNA here, another will be here, another will be here, and so on. This whole thing I have magnified here. Are you understanding this? Histone proteins are kind of proteins around which DNA is wrapped. And now why these histone proteins are present, and it is found only in eukaryotic DNA. And why it is present in eukaryotic DNA? Because the length of eukaryotic DNA is 2 meters and cell is very small, microscopic. So to adjust, yes, that long DNA in a microscopic cell, it is wrapped around this histone proteins. So length of DNA in prokaryotic cell is short, so they do not have these histone proteins. This much is clear. Now yahi DNA or the same DNA, you may be knowing this diagram, right? So this is actually the same DNA. This one. So DNA, histone proteins, together we will form this beaded string, right? And now this beaded string, it will undergo contraction. This will undergo contraction and it will form the chromosomes. This will undergo contraction and it will form genetic material which will be looking like this. And what do you call this whole structure as? This will be called as a chromosomes. Am I right? So these structures are called as a chromosomes, which have got 4 arms. These arms of the chromosomes are called as chromatids. The arms are called as chromatids. And the unit of this chromosome, when you say, it will be a DNA. And a unit of this DNA, इसका भी एक छोटा सा सेगमेंट अगर हम लोग बोलेंगे तो दैट वुड बी कॉल्ड एज ए न्यूक्लियोटाइड और जीन्स. किती वाजले? डिस्कनेक्ट झाला. Pause. Logic. This whole network like structure will be called as a chromatin network. This chromatin network, when we observe, I'm repeating the same only. When we observe this chromatin network under electron microscope, it shows two main things. What two main things? That is histone proteins and DNA. So this whole structure, also it has got one name. Now you don't need that name, nucleosome. Now when you again magnify this DNA, it will look like this double stranded. So whenever you say DNA, it will always look like this ladder. So this ladder like DNA is further made up of small units, and those units are called as nucleotides or called as a genes. Itna samjha? Say, tell me, understood this? Fine. So chromatin network, when we observe under electron microscope, it shows this beaded string. This beaded string consists of DNA and histone proteins. Around histone proteins, DNA is wrapped, and DNA is always double stranded. It has this ladder like structure, and a unit of DNA is genes, or unit of DNA we call as nucleotides. समझ में आया? Okay. So again, two more words I told you, euchromatin and heterochromatin. Euchromatin is the less condensed chromatin network, and heterochromatin is more condensed network. Is it okay? This is for your competitive exams. And now this beaded string only, when cell undergo division, undergo condensation, it undergo contraction, and then it finally forms these chromosomes. So we have 46 chromosomes or 23 pairs of chromosomes, correct? This whole process occurs inside nucleus only. So chromatin network, 2 chromosome, chromosome 2, chromatin network, this process keeps on repeating. Is it clear? There is no single stranded DNA as such. Yeah, we have 23 pairs of chromosomes which are always found inside this nucleus. Every chromosome has 4 arms like this. Each arm is called as a chromatid, and it is attached to the center of the chromosome. Center of the chromosome is called as centromere. What is the center called as? Centromere. Yes. And this is the way how every chromosome looks like. So when you say unit of chromosome, then it would be called as DNA. And when you say unit of DNA, it will be nucleotide or a gene. So our genetic material is in the form of a DNA, or our genetic material is made up of genes. Meaning is same only. This image you need to remember, it's very important. You can have a screenshot also. This will help you to understand. Also tomorrow we will be meeting. So in that soft copy it is given better. This diagrammatic representation. I'll help you to understand how it is again formed. We can have one glance, a small revision also in tomorrow's session. Or if you have that soft copy now also, after this lecture you can go through that, you can try to understand that, learn that. So it is going to be easy if you study then only. Otherwise it is going to be difficult, right? So still you have any problem? I hope you don't have. Double stranded. DS means double stranded. Daksh. Okay, comfortable? Now centrioles are left. That is the only, I suppose, cell organelle remaining. So go through that soft copy. Tomorrow also I will revise that. And yes, take care of yourselves. We will stop here for today. Good night everybody. See you tomorrow. Bye. Good night.